For a lot of teens, life without social media is impossible. Little do they know it's killing them in the worst way possible. Social media negatively impacts the mental health of adolescents. According to the RSPH and the youth health movement, people find that social media is more addictive than the use of alcohol and tobacco. Teens are growing up in a generation where social media has completely taken over. Adolescents have become very dependent on social media. They tend to lead two different lives, which can become very difficult to do. Teens today are so caught up in the latest trends, way of living, lives of others, and ideal body imaging that they conform themselves to fit what society considers to be cool. We want our future leaders of America to have their own identities. We don't want our youth to drown themselves in a mental state where it can possibly harm them for the sake of wanting to fit in. Social media is detrimental to the mental health of adolescents and has become a pandemic. It can be stopped by putting an end to how social media is viewed and putting the mentality of the youth first. This can be cured by addressing and acknowledging the detrimental factors of social media on teens' mental health. Social media is negatively affecting the mental health of teens. They experience mental harm and physical hurt. I grew up in a generation where social media took over reality. I tried so hard to fit in that I lost myself in the process. I began to look at myself in the mirror and didn't like what I saw. My body wasn't slim, I wore glasses, my hair wasn't long, I didn't have the latest clothes or the latest shoes, and I wasn't living the luxury lifestyle. I began to hate my life and myself. I felt inadequate to exist in the world. I put myself in a depression. Social media shows the world what it looks like to be cool or normal by what they advertise. It's the world's perception of perfect. Adolescents feel that in order to be socially acceptable, they have to conform themselves to be what they see on social media. Social media is detrimental to the mental health and physical health of adolescents. Teens feel that they need to conform themselves to fit the ideal image of what the world perceives to be cool. They lose a sense of their own identity. Teens lack the ability to communicate in a face-to-face setting. This can create anxiety while trying to do so. Adolescents undergo a series of self-inflicting problems due to social media. Teens experience negative self-imaging because they are surrounded by people who are portrayed to look a certain way, what is deemed to be beautiful. Adolescents experience loneliness because they cannot properly create real relationships. They are also involved in cyberbullying, which can cause suicidal thoughts and feed into depression and anxiety as well. Social media should be carefully monitored to promote positivity rather than envy. We should limit the use of how often adolescents utilize social media. We should carefully monitor the use of social media to promote and encourage positivity of all exception of others. Teens can limit the time of access to social media to properly experience the real world and experience proper human interactions, as well as properly form real relationships. Parents should also have access to their children's social media for safe monitoring. According to Katie Hurley, the key to helping teens learn to balance social media with real-life friendships is to keep the lines of communication open and keep talking. Honest communication shows your teen that you are there to support, not judge or lecture. Promoting positivity on social media will lighten up the negativity that goes on, which will prevent teens from driving themselves in a depressed or anxious state. By limiting the time and access to social media, it will allow the adolescents to experience the real world, learn themselves, and participate in actual human interactions. Parents should have access to their children's social media. They should be able to make sure that their child is safe and protected. Some may say that social media is beneficial. It offers a safe environment for teens, allows teens to find support, and helps teens who struggle with anxiety or do not have easy access to face-to-face socializing. Imagine a generation where our teens can live in a world where they do not have to endure the negative body shaming, suicidal thoughts, or the loneliness because they do not fit into the social media world, where they can go out into the world and be happy and not secretly battling with depression of social media. Adolescents will not experience mental illnesses due to social media. Teens will not experience loneliness. Adolescents will value friendships and relationships at a higher quality. They will have deeper, more enjoyable interactions with people face to face. It will allow them to be themselves. You will not be able to acknowledge how bad you've been affected by the negative impacts of social media. Teens will not be able to address the mental issues that they have brought upon themselves by social media. They will not be able to live lives to the full extent of their choosing. They will conform to social media. They will lose themselves and their true identity due to trying to change themselves to fit into the social media world. In conclusion, we need to focus on mental health. Society doesn't pay enough attention to it or recognize the importance of it. We should encourage those who suffer from depression, anxiety, body shaming, and so on to disengage from social media. We should remind them that there's a world around them and that they need to take advantage of it. Those who suffer from mental health due to social media should not be ignored but should be acknowledged. Social media is negatively impacting the mental health of adolescents. They experience mental and physical harm. We can save our youth by putting an end to something that is slowly killing them. We need to show our youth that we care, that we see them for who they truly are. There's a whole world that they can take advantage of. There's more to life than what's being shown on our phones. Our youth matters. Let's put an end to negativity and pour out the love, help, motivation, and positivity. Thank you.